The following lesson, An Introduction to File Systems, is a precursor to installing and configuring processing. I'll be teaching you what you need to know about navigating and managing your files on Windows 8 and Mac OS 10.8, the latest operating systems from Microsoft and Apple. This will provide a core foundation needed to continue with the processing portion of this course. Between the two operating systems, I'll be covering the following file systems topics: searching for files, creating folders, moving, cutting, and copying files and folders, and deleting files and folders. This video is split into two parts, the first covering Windows 8 and the second Mac OS 10.8 Mountain Lion. I recommend watching the video in its entirety to make sure you're aware of the minor differences in file systems between the two most prominent operating systems. Lastly, although I'll be demonstrating on the latest operating systems from Microsoft and Apple, most of what I'm covering applies to previous versions of Windows and OS X. Let's get started exploring the file system on Windows 8.
Okay, so I've just logged into my demo account in Windows 8. And the first thing that you'll see if you're using Windows 8 is the new Start Menu tile interface. In order to get back to the more familiar desktop interface, simply hover your mouse over the desktop tile icon and left-click. Once you've done this, you'll be taken back to the more familiar Windows interface. This will be more compatible if you're using Windows 7 or Windows XP, as all will work for this demonstration. So to get started with the File Explorer, the first thing we're going to do is launch File Explorer by clicking on this File icon menu at the bottom. This is going to launch the File Explorer. From here, the first thing I'll teach you is searching for files. Now I've planted a file on this machine that we're going to be searching for, and to get started I've clicked in the search box in the upper right. This is going to bring up the Search Tools options right above if you're using Windows 8. Now we want to search for everything on this computer, not just everything in the subfolder of libraries. To do that, click the computer icon and then type in your search query here. I'm looking for important document. I'm going to type that in and press enter. Now we'll skip ahead to where it actually finds the document. Okay, so the search is finished and it's actually located our document. The important document, it says, is located in C, Projects. C is the name of the hard disk location. It's been assigned a letter name, and C is usually the first or primary disk of any Windows machine computer. So it's in the Projects folder on C. In order to get there, I'm going to click on this file, then right-click on the file and click Open File Location. Now this has changed our location from the search results to the address right here, local disk C projects. And if I click here, I'll see the actual address, which is C:/projects. So searching is pretty easy. Simply clicking in the search bar, making sure you select that you search the whole computer, current folder, or all subfolders, and then you can go from there. So now that we found our document, I'm going to show you how to create a folder. You can create a folder in any file browser view, but you can also create folders on the desktop. To do so, simply right-click where you'd like to create your new folder, select New, and select Folder. Once you do this, a new folder will be created, and the name of the new folder will be highlighted, allowing you to change the name. I'm going to change my name to Project Folder 1. I'm going to press Enter or Return to confirm the name. If I double-click on this, it's going to launch the file browser for that folder. So you can see here that we're located in Project Folder 1 in this window and Projects in this window. Moving files in the file browser is very easy. One way to move files is to click and drag. So I'm going to click and drag over Important Document and release my mouse in the new folder. You'll see now that it's located in the Project Folder 1, and what was in the Projects folder is now gone. I can undo this simply by pressing Ctrl-Z on the keyboard, like so. Ctrl-Z is the universal undo function. Now, I'm going to teach you how to copy files. Copying files is just as easy as moving. Simply right-click on the file you'd like to copy, select Copy, right-click on the destination, and select Paste. Now, I'm going to undo that so that I can show you a different way how to do this. You can also do this with keyboard commands. First, select your file and press Ctrl and C simultaneously at once on your keyboard. Next, move to your destination, hold down Ctrl and press V to paste the file. Control C is a universal command for copy, and Control V is a universal command for paste. Next, I'm going to teach you how to cut files. So I'm going to press Control Z to undo what I've done. Cutting files is just like moving files. It takes them from their current destination, and once the cut has been pasted, that file is now moved. So to cut, I can simply right-click and select Cut. Over here, right-click and select Paste. Again, I can press Control Z to undo that. And in a different way, I could press Control X for cut and Control V for paste. So for everything I'm showing you, you could do it simply with your mouse by clicking and right-clicking context menus, or you could use your mouse and keyboards to speed things up. Now that I've shown you how to cut, move, and copy files, I'd like to teach you how to rename files. One way is to click on a file once, wait a moment, and click on the file again. This is what I call click, delay, click. Click once for the file, wait about 1 second, and click again. This will highlight the entire name and allow you to rename it. I'm going to call this document 1 and press enter to confirm. Again, I can press Control Z to undo. Another way to rename is to right click on a file and click rename. And again, document 1, press enter, or if I don't like it, Control Z to undo. Next, I'm going to show you how to delete files. So let's say we were done with this document. We can simply click on it and press delete on our keyboard, and you'll see it's going to populate the recycling bin when I do that. So let's watch that happen. Press delete, and it's now in the recycling bin. If I hit Control Z, I'll undo. I can also right click and hit delete. Again, it's at the recycling bin. So let's say I've deleted a file and it's been a while and I can't hit undo, and I'd like to bring the file back. To do that, you need to open your recycling bin by double-clicking on it. In here, you'll see all the files that have been deleted. To restore a file, simply click the file and click Restore the selected item, and you'll see it's going to move right back to its original location. Ah, there it is. One more time, if I delete this, it's now in the recycle bin. And to empty the recycle bin permanently, click Empty Recycle Bin. It'll confirm that I want to permanently delete this file, which is yes. Okay, so in this video, I've shown you how to work with the Windows 8 File Explorer. I've taught you how to create folders, move files, copy files, cut files, rename files, delete files, restore files, and permanently delete files.
Now that we've gone over Windows 8, let's look at the same functions in OS X Mountain Lion.
Okay, I've just logged into my demo account on Mac OS 10.8 Mountain Lion. From here, you'll see that the desktop interface is very similar to Windows, and the first thing I'll teach you how to do is to search for file. To begin searching for a file, simply click on the magnifying glass icon in the upper right-hand corner. This will launch Spotlight. Another way to launch Spotlight is to press Command and Space at the same time, allowing you to launch Spotlight from the keyboard. From here, I'm going to look for that same document we were looking for in Windows, the important document file. When I begin typing, it's going to give its best guess of which document we're looking for and offer us to open it right here. But instead, I'm going to hit Show All in Finder to view all results in the Finder window interface. Now this is Finder. Finder can be launched from your dock at the bottom by clicking the Finder icon, or it can be launched from a Spotlight search. Either way, this is very similar in its function and appearance to the Windows File Explorer. So from here, you can see that you can also search for files from any Finder view by typing the name of the file you're searching for. In OS X, it will default to searching the entire machine. So here's our file. When we single click on it, you'll see the location of the file is under our user account, documents, projects. So if I click on projects, it will take us to the projects folder, the actual location of this file. Next, I'm going to show you how to create folders. Creating folders is done in a very similar way to on Windows, where you can right-click either in your file view, or you can right-click in the desktop view and select New Folder. From here, I'm going to name my folder Projects and press Enter. This will commit the file name. I can double-click this folder now to open it and view the contents. It's currently empty. Moving files is done in a similar manner to Windows as well. You can click and drag to move the file over. You can press Command Z instead of Control Z to undo that function. So I'll do that again. Move the file over, click and drag. Press Command and Z simultaneously to undo. You'll notice that on Windows we used Control C, Control V, and Control X. But on Mac OS X, you'll be using Command instead of Control for identical universal functionality for cutting, copying, and pasting. Now, I've shown you how to create folders. I've shown you how to move files. Now I'll teach you how to copy files. You can copy files by using the Command C and Command V commands, but you can also right-click and select Copy, and right-click the destination and select Paste. Now that I've shown you how to copy files, I'd like to show you how to rename files. Renaming files is similar to Windows, where you do the click, delay click to rename files. So again, I'm going to click the document, wait 1 moment, click the title again. This highlights the entire title, and I can rename it. Document 1, press Enter to confirm. I can again press Command Z to undo. For deleting files, it's a little bit different than Windows. 1, I can select a file and drag it to the trash. Now, instead of a recycling bin, there's a trash bin in OS X. Alternatively, to do it from the keyboard, instead of pressing the delete key, I'm going to hold Command and press the backspace key. It's a little bit different than Windows, but it's just as easy. So now this file appears in the trash bin. The trash bin works in a very similar way to the recycle bin. To open the trash bin, simply launch it, select your document, right-click, and hit Put Back. You'll see that the document gets put back right away. I'll delete this one more time. And to empty the trash, simply right-click on the trash and select Empty Trash. This allows you to delete the file permanently. So I'll hit Empty Trash here. Okay, so this has been a brief overview of interacting with the Finder, which is the file browser for Mac OS X. A lot of things carry over from the video for Windows, so if you skipped ahead on that part, I recommend going back and making sure you watch both sections on both Windows and Mac OS X.
Before we wrap this lesson, it's time for you to take a brief quiz on what you've learned today. With the basics of computing behind us and the confidence to navigate file systems, we are ready to begin installing and creating with processing. In our next lesson, I'll teach you how to install and configure processing, preparing you to begin your first processing sketch.